Okay, before we get started in part 2 of the inside look at International Quilt Market, I want to first start by announcing the winner of the giveaway of Camille's pattern bundle from her summertime fabric collection. So, if you had watched part 1, she let everyone know if you comment your favorite pattern of her new patterns from her collection that she was going to select a winner. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to copy the URL from that video. We're going to submit it here to the pickawinner.co. All right. Loading all the comments there. And thank you for everyone that did leave a comment. It looks like the total number of comments received in that video over a week period was 591. So thank you so much for all the comments and everyone watching the video last week. And let's go ahead and pick our winner. And we have our winner here. Thank you for sharing all the wonderful future fabrics and quilts. I love the jelly roll quilt full of all those heart centers. Summer love. And that's from Etta K. Nickel 6148. So I will go ahead and reach out to you in the comments and let you know that you're the winner. And if you just please email us so that we can get your shipping address, we'll have Camille send that bundle over to you. So thanks again for everyone for participating and entering the giveaway. And now we'll jump into part 2 of our inside look at International Quilt Market and show you some other great booths from some Moda fabric designers.
Okay, and now I'm here with my friend Vanessa. So excited. She's got the Christmas cheer and she's going to tell you all about it.
I have a brand new collection. It's called Berry and Pine. If you're familiar with my other Christmas collections, Christmas morning, Christmas Eve, this is going to coordinate beautifully with those. It does have the addition of more of a forest green this time around, which is really fun. It kind of adds some sophistication into the mix. We have a few 108-inch wide backings that are really fun. They're in the magic dots in like this darker green color. And then there's the red, which is this one. And then there's like a white with kind of the multicolor Christmas dot. So that's really exciting. People have been asking for those. I have 4 new quilt patterns this time around. This first main one behind me is called Christmas Crew. It combines my most popular Christmas blocks, the Santa, the reindeer, and then it takes a jelly roll or a layer cake for the holly berry sashing, which is really fun. So we'll probably put together a sew along for that. Keep your eye out for that. Right next to it, I have Holiday House. It's a little bit difficult to see here, but these are all 16-inch finished block sizes and just a fun little variety of like the wintry trees mixed in with the houses. I have the struggle of like, which house would I live in? So far, I think it's this one right here. But over here, we have a few other... I'm going to move this so you can see a little better. But we have a few quilts over here on the ladder. This top one is not an individual pattern. It's actually from my Charm School book. The pattern is called Somersault, but made up in berry and pine fabrics. It kind of looks like ornament blocks. So that was just a really fun way to take 2 charm packs and kind of mix your own combinations of ornaments there. Right below it, we have Wrap It Up. This one is kind of wonky. You've probably noticed. It uses a couple of different techniques than we typically use. They're very beginner friendly, just kind of a fun different mix of gift blocks. And then right below it, we have Fir Tree Lane, just a super simple geometric tree design. It's really fun you kind of get the secondary pattern of the trees upside down in between. It's just a great way to showcase prints of your favorite fabric collections. You can make it with fat quarters or fat eighths, depending on the variety you want in the mix. We also have a panel, as I do with all my Christmas lines. This one is a little bit harder to see just the way I have it displayed here, but I do have sort of the little package here so you can get the full view of what that looks like. It measures 58 by 72 inches, so it's a really great lap size. You can incorporate it into backings. It's just a really quick and easy project. You can add some of the Moda backings that are super soft. There's a new backing. What is it called? Do you remember?
It's called.
We'll tell you more about it, but it's so
Sharing it on the
it's wonderful. So it would be great to add like a cozy backing too. So other than that, this is the Berry and Pine collection, and it will be shipping to shops in May of 2025. And I think that's it. So thanks for letting me talk about that.
Okay, and now I'm here with Stephanie. She's the social media manager for Basic Gray, and she has made some of the quilts. She does everything. She's going to share everything with you. You're going to love hearing about it, and I'll turn everything over to her and where you can find out about all things Basic Gray.
Okay, great. All right, this is Basic Gray's newest collection, Acorn Hollow, and this ships to shops in May of 2025. And I love the color palette on this collection. It's just earthy tones, beautiful colors, and such charming, whimsical little designs here with the foxes and the bunnies and the woodland creatures. It's so fun. I love the plaids, and some of these other fabrics are just so beautiful. There are 6 new grunges in this collection. So we have the cream, we have a couple of different greens, a lighter and darker. The pink here, this chocolatey brown that people are loving, a darker kind of blackish brown, and then this pretty, almost like golden color. And then for this collection, we also have 4 patterns. Okay, this first pattern here is Acorn Tumble, and as you can see, the acorns are on point, and I had never done this before. It was my first time doing that, and it was just a really fun thing to do. I enjoyed it. Our next pattern over here is called Always Autumn, and this is just a fun geometric shape that would really look good in any fabrics. Next we have Fallen Leaves, and what I like about this quilt is just the movement that you have with the leaves going around in the circle here, and the little leaves falling down on the sides as well. And this would look good in any fabric as well. Our last pattern that we have is Fall Y'all. And something that I love about this quilt is the scrappy border and binding that you can see here. Might be a little bit more difficult to see on the border, but it just kind of adds a fun little detail. And yeah, that's our collection. I hope you enjoyed.
Okay, and now I'm here with Robin Pickins. Robin is actually just right on the back side of my booth. So
Good
we're
neighbor.
kind of booth mates, right? And Robin has a gorgeous new collection she's going to tell you about. Fun fact, we met Robin at our first quilt market that we were sharing fabrics. So we've known Robin for quite a while. So anyway, I'm going to turn it over to her. She's going to tell you all about her fabric, and there you go.
Well, and Sherri, you were actually one of the first designers that I really got to meet and talk to, and you were so helpful, and I've just always appreciated that. And thank you. Thank you. So yeah, this is Super Bloom, and Super Bloom is a wildflower print. I did one called Wild Blossoms a couple years ago, and this is a different mix of wildflowers, but it's like a sister collection. So we've got poppies and coneflowers and black-eyed Susans, some bluebells, asters, things like that, a whole mix. And one of the things that's different from the original group is we have 2 colorways for this. So it's actually a width of fabric print, which means that it's going to go from the selvage to selvage is like a whole ombre. So the whole thing runs the 42 inches. And so this is the dark colorway, which is called Jewel. And then this is the light one, which is Pastel. So they're the same flowers, but it's the lighter dark background. And it really makes a difference in how the quilts look, and the personality of them. So like this is one of my table runners called Centerpiece, and it's got little 3-inch finished blocks in it. And actually 3-inch blocks are super fun to make, and I really suggest you get like triangles on a roll, and you do all your 1-inch, half square triangles finished 1 inch, because that's the only size that's used in here. So it's very logical piecing and only like certain, similar sizes. So it's really not hard to do. And if you use triangles on a roll, it's a breeze. So it's in an 80-inch. This is it in a 60-inch, and then I also have a 40-inch. So if you had, a small table, medium, I have a large table, and this is gathering wildflowers. And this one, I wanted to really kind of play off of the flowers and have this flower lineup that then is, mirroring sort of the flowers above and below it. And if this is actually it on the light background, and see how different it looks when it's done with the pastel colors. Like it's the same quilt, but it really has a different feel to it. So that is Gathering Wildflowers. And this one is Fiona's Daisy Chain. So it's based on an Irish chain. But I wanted to take that big ombre print and let people know they shouldn't be afraid to cut it up. Like you can cut it up into chunks and you could still get that ombre look of it going across, or you could arrange them however you want, almost more like scrappy fabric. And people would think you curated this whole fabric bundle, when you're cutting up one print. So for this, if you pick 2 colors on the 9 patch that are similar, you really get that white daisy that like stands out for the chain in it. And then this was in the light colorway and the periwinkle. And just a little side note, my niece, her name is Fiona, so this is named, for her. And one of the things that I got to do this year is cross stitch to go with this. I've been trying to do cross stitch to coordinate with each of my collections for the last number of collections that I've been doing. And so this time Moda is kitting some of these cross stitch. And so this is my Stitch Lovely one, which can be done as a pillow, or the way I have it here is as a sewing machine cover. So like the kit's got the Cosmo floss, which is really nice to stitch with, the Ada, a needle, the pattern, which is always full color charts, and this is also 2/3 yards cut of fabric with the instructions to make the sewing machine cover. So that's enough that you're getting your ties and your binding and all of that. You need an inside material added to it. And I've got Super Bloom Bouquet, and this one also comes with a fat quarter of this fabric so that you can float it on a board with sticky board, and that way you can always buy a standard size frame and not have to do custom framing on your pieces. So I really like to incorporate the fabric. And then Queen Bee is the other one, and this is the simplest of them, but it's a little 5-inch Queen Bee, and for this one it goes really well with Thatch 28, which is the maize color. For this also I wanted to play with that idea of like, how do we marry the quilts and the cross stitch together? So I have one up here where like it's got a border of quilt blocks going around, and I'm doing a pattern where those are like adjustable borders that help you do finishing for pillows, or like here I'm still framing it with the quilt blocks in there to like kind of bring those worlds together. And that's stitched right down onto the Ada cloth. And I'll be doing some YouTube videos on how I do that and how I measure it out. I do have a YouTube channel, Robin Pickins, and I'm also robinpickins.com and Robin Pickins on Instagram, and Robin Pickins Incorporated for my shop. So that's kind of most of the highlights. Oh, one last thing. I found this tote at IKEA, and so I just put some of the big with the fabric on here. And that same Super Bloom Bouquet one, I broke up and sewed my flowers individually and just top stitched them on, and really quick way to start, making something yours and like embellish it a little bit more. So thank you, Sherri, for, letting me explain.
Thank you so much, Robin. This was fabulous.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be moving on to another booth.
Hi, we are here right now with Elena, and she is going to talk about her newest fabric collection, Perfect Christmas.
Hi everyone, my name is Elena, and let me show you my newest collection for Moda. It's my second collection, and I'm consistently inconsistent with my design process. It was made in Procreate, edited in Photoshop. I used some handmade elements to make this collection, so I hope you will not see the differences in the style and techniques that I used, because it has the same idea, that it's very cozy, comfortable, and you will enjoy the Christmas with this collection. I would say it's not a very traditional Christmas red and green collection. I used a lot of blues and peach vibes for that, and I hope you will enjoy this new variant of your Christmas. Also, if you like cats, you will enjoy these collections as I did, because my cat was helping me a lot with it, and if your kitty is staying by your side when you're quilting, that's good for you. Thank you for looking at this collection, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, now I'm here in the Primitive Gatherings booth with Lisa Bonjean, and wow, she's got, again, some of us have had two different sides to share with you. She's got that, and I'm just going to give it to her and let her take it away.
All right, thank you so much. Awesome. So my fabric line for this quilt market is called Pumpkin Spice Gatherings, and you can see all the beautiful fall colors coming from like butternut, yellow, orange, red, green, taupes, browns, and then purples and black. So lots of colors to choose from. And I have several quilts that will all be in a book called Pumpkin Spice Gatherings. So here we'll just talk a little bit about them. This one is called Homeward Bound, and it is just a layer cake with a bunch of yardage. This one here is fat quarter friendly with some yardage, and this one we also did in a dark, so we used this black print as the cream here, and then we didn't put any black in that one, and then we could use the lights, right? And then over here, this one just uses 13 fabrics because there's 13 different blocks, and then the background, this one is called Pumpkin Blossom. And this is kind of fun because when I did my real video with Moda, I forgot about all the stuff on my table. So now I get to talk about that, right? So the quilt on the table is called Sunset Garden, and it's a bunch of half square triangles and flying geese, but only 2 prints. But they're the same print, so the dark and the light. So that's super fun. And I did a little make and take. So if you ever want to do a fun little project with your grandkids or school or whatever, I took a purchased pumpkin. It's hard, from like a Hobby Lobby or Joann's, and then I did matte Mod Podge and then these foam brushes, and you're gonna like measure your pumpkin. This will come off, and then you measure your pumpkin like from center to center, and you cut your strips that size, and you kind of point the edges off. You can kind of see that on the bottom there, how I did that. You can hide a lot on the bottom, so you don't really have to worry about that. And then you just paint the Mod Podge on the back side and then lay them on, and the jelly roll works the best out of all of them. So that is super fun and easy, and you get over it after you make 1 or 2, and then it's like, okay, I'm done. All right, but it was much easier to do it with the 2.5 versus I was doing it with like little 1.5 inch strips, and I was like, okay, I'm over that. All right, but it is fun. And then let's go over here. We're gonna switch spots, Billy. All right, so I'll start on the bottom here. This is a small little decorating quilt called Leaf Dance. Again, we just used a bunch of the dark prints and then one background. And my book is also going to include some wool projects, pillows, wall hangings, and things like that. I didn't talk about the fall banner over here, but I'll talk about the pillow. So this pillow is using my hand-dyed wools. And you can put this that says, you know, happy fall or autumn or whatever you want. I used our last name here. And then these are just a small collection of some of the hand-dyed wools that I do, and I put them in that quote-unquote rainbow of fall there. And I use Valdani 5-weight to do some of my stitching and stuff like that. But this right here is the panel quilt that's in the line, and it's called Happy Fall, y'all. So if Billy wants to show it finished while I am unveiling this panel. So there's the finished, and it is stitched with that 5-weight pearl cotton, and then a layer cake was used for the piecing along with some yardage. But if you're not a hand stitcher, you don't have to stitch the panel. So here it is unstitched. And the lines do not go away once it's washed. I get some questions a lot on how to do this, and I have prepared a whole sheet of all the questions I got on stitching these panels, because there's no right or wrong way to do it, but sometimes people just want to do what I did so they get the same results. And then this quilt right here is called Honeysuckle. Again, layer cake here on this one. This little banner is the hand-dyed wools again. And then one last quilt here called Corn Maze. All right, that's what it was called. It came to me at the last minute there. I mean, I have 8 quilts. It's hard to remember, all of that, right? All right, so that's my Pumpkin Spice Gatherings fabric line, and it's going to be, all of these projects are going to be in one book. So I hope you love it as much as I love designing it for you.
Okay, I'm here in the fig tree booth. Joanna has already headed home, I'm guessing.
She has left me for cleanup duty.
Yes, and I'm here with Eric Figueroa. We've known each other quite a while from my Sewing for Joanna days.
Yep.
Sent me all the labels to ship everything back. So really just going to turn it over to him and let him talk all about Joanna's new collection.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for the time, and we're really excited to be part of this. So this is the Blended Tally line of fabric. So you can see here's the fabric collection right here in the little bundle. You can see all the beautiful Christmas colors. It's coming out in May of 2025 with this release. So we have a beautiful set of fabric there for you. Comes the smaller bundle. We've got a couple jelly rolls in here, and of course comes as yardage as well. So a couple things we've got going on today. What we're looking at here is the Christmas panel, and this is actually right here. I'll show this. Comes in a pomegranate red panel and a pomegranate green as well. Not a pomegranate green, just a green. It's 21 images on each. You've got some small, bigger images here, smaller ones, red and green. So you can see there's a number of things you can cut out with pinking shears to make different projects with. So what we did, we'll have idea sheets up on our blog later as the fabric comes out, but we made some ornaments here. These are just stuffed little ornaments that you can make. If you want to get a little more fancy, you can put it in a frame, mount that on a piece of cardstock or something else to keep it firm, and then mount it in there. Put one of our Renaissance ribbons on there that's made with our fig tree inspired product line there. So that's a Christmas tree ornament set. If you don't want to do Christmas tree ornaments, you get a little more traditional in your sewing notions and make a quality pincushion with that. And see the same image in red and green. Beautiful pincushions. And then something really simple, if you or your loved ones don't know how to use a coaster, you can make more. You can use these as coasters during the holiday season for your Christmas events, Christmas parties, or just to keep your kids from ruining your table. So that's there right there. As far as quilt projects we have, this is one of our older patterns called Yuletide Spruce, which we've recolored with the Blended Tally fabric line. So a lot of our older patterns that we've released, much like Sherri and Chelsi, you can redo with new fabric, and it's like a brand new pattern. So if you want a beautiful Christmas pattern, there it is. We have a runner fabric here. So this is called the Christmas Village Runner, and you can make it here. You can see you use the stars from the half the piece and the houses and scenery setting here to make this runner. That's just 2 yards of fabric right there with a 1 yard backing. Pretty straightforward project, but really fun to do. Use that same runner fabric, create these pillow sets here. Again, we just created the pillow, quilted it up, and you got a beautiful little Christmas accent. Handbags, using one of our patterns that uses a handbag ever pattern. You can make this here, and just even some simple pillows. But for all of you who like to quilt, we do have several quilt projects with this line as well. Starry Pines here, you can see the Christmas tree look here. It's one of our new patterns coming out with the Blended Tally fabric line right there. And I'll introduce you to another one called Ribbons and Stars. Beautiful fabric collection, accented by a really lovely fabric pattern as well. So a little more intricate pattern here than your simple projects. And then last but not least, everybody needs at least one new tree skirt a season. So if you're a fabric person and a quilter, you can make the holly tree skirt. Thank you, Sherri. And see, that goes around your hopefully bigger Christmas tree than this, a little bit bigger, but it'll make a beautiful accent piece for your home or for your family or for the loved ones in your life or your kids. If they need a Christmas tree skirt, you can just make one for them. So that's it for the Blended Tally fabric line. We're really happy to be part of this today, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, I'm here with Janet Clare in her booth at Quilt Market, and just a little sneak peek, Janet is going to be a future podcast guest. But I'm actually going to just hand the microphone over to Janet and let her tell you all about her latest collection.
Oh, hi. Hello, everyone. So my latest collection is called Larking, and did you know that the Thames through London is still tidal? Did you know that?
I did not.
So you can have low tide in London, the city of London, and be sat on a little beach. And everything that people have been throwing in the river for centuries is washed away every high tide and low tide. So you can pick up clay pipes, old coins, bits of jewellery, and lots of little bits of china. I found medieval bits of china. There's all sorts there. And I've been collecting all these things for years and years and years. And that is one of my collections that I've started. And I drew little teapots and loved the blue and white things. But my booth was about patterns that are suitable for pre-cuts. And I love designing with a pre-cut, and I particularly like designing with one pre-cut and trying to use it all up so there's no waste. Yeah, so you're not buying a jelly roll and then only using 2/3 of it and then having to buy 2 yards as well. And I think, no, if you've bought a jelly roll, use the jelly roll. So I love to do things like this. This is one jelly roll, and I like to make it so that you can personalize the quilt. So you're making something that's unique in the world. So all the roofs and the buildings are sort of interchangeable, mix and match, so you can make your own version of things. This one's really popular. This is one of my best-selling kits. This one uses one of the little 2.5-inch candies, and you can make yourself the whole little sewing kit, a little needle case, a pincushion, the scissors and everything, and you have one half square triangle left over from the one candy. And my best-selling product is my apron, my crazy apron. And I have adult size, and it's a proper dress-made graded nest, so it fits everyone. And I have a little child's version as well. And I keep personalizing it, and it tells my stories. And it's a really important part of me having enough confidence to stand here with a microphone talking to you guys. I'll give you a 12. There you go. I've got all lots of little bits and pieces on it now, and it's really, really good fun. So a lot of the things that I love to do, I like to make the quilting really easy and accessible for people. That's where the patterns and the pre-cuts come in. But I also have a great passion for you making something that's unique in the world, and that becomes an heirloom for your family. And that's what I really love to do. So 2 little elements to me.
Okay, one last thing. I wanted to let everyone know also that Isabel and I did stop by a Longarming Machine, one of the companies, to sort of play around with it, get the rundown of what the features are and everything like that. And I have some footage of that. I might put that up right now as I'm talking. But overall, that was really good. We're interested in the whole process, and we'll probably move forward with it in the future, not any time too soon. But that was really great to see. So that's going to be, we just wanted to give everyone an update about that, because in the podcast we did talk about doing that. And also in our next podcast episode, we will be giving a full recap, and my mom and sister will give more in detail of everything that they saw and learned about this quilt market as well. Okay, so I think that's about it. Thanks for watching, and thanks for stopping by.